So I have to ask, now you've seen so much success and so much clear success. It seems like no one can deny that drones in this use case are brilliant. But was it always like that? And what, especially in the beginning, did it take to convince the government to adopt drones?
Right. No, it wasn't like that. As I mentioned, it was like, oh, you want to play with a toy, right?
Right.
And then you'd say, okay, well, I got this. Let's see what it can do. And they'd be like, oh, it can't do this job. So we actually had some fun competitions and be like, okay, you do it your way, I'll do it my way, and let's see who gets done faster. But where it really came down to play is when you get them the data and show them what you're able to achieve. That's when it was a game changer. That's when you seen the light bulb come on.
You just being like, I'm going to use this drone, I'm going to fly it, I'm going to do it, or get permission?
So what I would do is I'd go to the different areas and I'd just say, hey, what are you guys going to go do today? And learn about their things. And one instance was in our maintenance division, they had to go inspect fence. And he was just complaining about it. He's like, oh, I'm going to have to go and climb up and down these slopes, again, the mountainous area, right? And there might be wood ticks out there and other things he's going to have to deal with. So he was going to take all day to walk up and down the slope to just inspect fence. Pretty boring job. I says, hey, why don't we test it with a drone? So I was able to fly the drone 12 miles an hour, a lot faster than anybody can hike. Get it done in, an hour, little over an hour. We flew it, and they've got video documentation. And we're like, here you go. Next thing they're like, we're going to buy a drone. So.
Right. But it sounds like it really took you just saying, like, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to ask for permission, really. Someone needs to be there and say, we're doing this.
Yeah, luckily, it's they give us a lot of leeway in Utah. And I really got to hand to our management for this, is they let us try things. And we have an area where they say it's okay to fail sometimes as long as we learn from it. So that's why we're able to test certain things out. And with that, they said, go see what we can do with it. And that's why I was able to do that. And people are more receptive to say, okay, well, let's try it. And, and you get the people like, yeah, right. This little toy's not going to be able to do it. And then when you bring back that data, they're just amazed, like, wow. Yeah. I can't believe you just did that or collected that. And when they look at a point cloud from the data, or just even the imagery of your bolts and other things, that's where it really shines. And then fast forward to today, we're looking at using machine learning and AI incorporated with that. So I talked about that overhead sign inspections, right? Yeah. Well, the piece I didn't talk about was they got the video, they got everything else. We saved that over $100,000, but the poor soul that had to be in the office watching the video of every rivet, right? The structure inspector. I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, yeah, you can tell who's been flying because who was stable, who was zooming in and out, trying to make him sick. So that was the next piece. I said, let's see what we can do. So we're looking at using machine learning to let it do it to help save our poor structure inspector. So he'll train it once or twice to get that computer model going. And then let's let the computers figure out where the missing rivets are or any bolts and stuff, and use technology to do that instead and get even more efficiencies from it. And then our poor guy in the office isn't motion sick and everybody's wondering, why's that guy throwing up over there, right?
He's doing the rivet inspection.
Right. Whose turn is it this week?